everybody. How are you? This is a live stream where we're going to talk about ToyFair because that's a thing that we're supposed to do, right? Joining me is introduce yourself.
I am AHM1K, co-creator of Transformers United with this dude here.
That's not all. That's not all you do.
Yeah, but I felt that was all that was fitting for right now. I didn't want to make it too long.
He does a whole bunch of really cool stop motion stuff. He has a second channel, Cast Videos, where he makes a lot of funny improv comedy type stuff. Check him out on both of those if you haven't already. He's got a significantly larger following than I do, but that's okay because he deserves it.
This dude deserves it more, though. He works way harder for it.
That is false. So, we are going to talk about some ToyFair goodies. I am not planning on covering everything because some of this stuff doesn't interest me. The rescue bots, it offers no palpable change from years previous. It's just the same basic transformations, just newer characters. If you're interested in rescue bots, spoiler alert, I'm not talking about them because there's really nothing to cover other than, oh, hey, they're doing Hotshot now. Here's what he looks like. That's all. So, with that being said, we're going to skim through the new fan vote. We're going to very briefly cover the Transformers Cyberverse toys. Then, more in depth, we're going to talk about the Power of the Primes reveals, the Supreme whatever Titan class, whatever they're calling it now, Predaking, and then finally the Studio series because those things interest the both of us. So, with that being said, let's get right into the Transformers. Okay, first and foremost, we have a brand new vote that you can actively participate in right now.
Until Friday.
Until Friday, which it's on Facebook and Instagram on the official Transformers accounts. By the way, while I'm here, I am using TFW 2005 as my image source, so there's that. But you can now vote up until Friday on these 3 categories. And the new trilogy is called the War for Cybertron trilogy, which kind of disappoints me because it reminds me of a really good game that they're just kind of borrowing the name from.
Mm-hmm. This is going to make it so that way it has big shoes to fill name-wise and could easily be a letdown.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
So the three categories we have to vote on, and these are versus teams. So I'm not exactly sure what this is going to look like. It really could be anything at this point. We have Impactor versus Mirage, Needle Nose versus Trax, and Spinister versus Wheeljack, all of which are interesting pairings of much more cool, much cooler characters with more bland Autobot names. So we've got all these vague, well, except for Impactor, he's a wrecker, so he's not technically a Decepticon. We've got these 2 vague Decepticons and then like very well-known kind of bland background Autobots. But that's okay because this vote really won't matter, will it?
No. It's funny you should say that because we have a running theory that all these votes that we've been doing don't get counted. Gasp. Really? Thank you, voice in the wind.
Isn't that interesting? It is a theory. I can neither confirm nor deny because I have not the power to do so. But I would wager that all these fan votes are severely, severely rigged. So there's that. So
there is that. Would you like to go into that a little more, or do we just want to end on that?
If you want to vote. But no, there's probably a chance that it won't amount to a hill of beans. Next up, Transformers Cyberverse. I do want to run through these quickly because they don't necessarily interest me. These are more basic toys for a younger audience. and I would absolutely not buy any of these. However, it is nice to see these evergreen designs be used in some form or fashion. And the whole idea behind the evergreen designs is, for years, we have had pictures of Transformers on greeting cards and plates and balloons and blah, 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 blah. And it always changes. The idea behind the evergreen designs are, this is the definitive Starscream to go on any Transformers merchandise. This is the definitive Bumblebee that'll go on any Transformers merchandise, and so on and so forth. So these designs, until ultimately they become stale, are like the air quotes, that is Starscream. So if you're thinking of a default Starscream, it would be this one. So that's the interesting part about Evergreen. We'll see how long these last, but you can tell they're at least trying something new and also referential to the original source material, which I think is very interesting. So there's Starscream, and this seems to be a more just bare bones Transformer, which I really like. You know, intrusive gimmicks are a little bit crazy. And speaking of intrusive gimmicks, wow, is that intense. So apparently there's some kind of gimmick that involves giant weaponry being deployed from these Transformers. Okay, cool. Here is Bumblebee, which this one appears to be the basic. Yeah, that's just Bumblebee. And as you can see, if you guys have ever seen that evergreen picture, the Transformers Cyberverse banner, there, that is Bumblebee. So it's kind of cool. I'm just saying, it's kind of cool that those designs are getting utilized in a TV show. We're not sure. We can't judge the merits of the show. Bumblebee is the main character. Obviously, it looks like Starscream and Megatron are going to be in it, and I'll save spoilers for somebody else down the list that I want to touch on. Hi, WWE Fan 01. I see you in the chat. Now, this one appears to be the more gimmick-oriented Bumblebee, and it looks like they're kind of doing that bumper battler thing that they did from Animated, where they transform and something deploys, which, interesting. This is, I believe, supposed to be Grimlock. But man, does he look weird. I want to say that he's mistransformed here because his robot legs are the dinosaur legs, and then he just has a bunch of dangly arms. I don't know. But regardless, that does not look like a T-Rex. If it's supposed to be a different dinosaur, then maybe we can talk. But it's a little bit of a stretch. Oh, it's a little teeny tiny Megatron. And he's a hit you with that mace thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if that's like a panel that's attached to the mace, but it's not much of a mace if you're just gonna get slapped by a panel with a mace on the other side of it.
I know. Well, hey, it's so kids don't gouge their
kids'
eyeballs
toy,
out.
but it's just like,
This appears to be our Legends class. I know above they've named what class they are. This Starscream appears to have a flippy gimmick where he's got this Gerwalk mode that deploys the guns. Okay. There's Megatron looking a little bit cooler, which I do like this design of Megatron. I will say. I mean, it's kind of a bummer that he's not getting a better, more detailed toy, but I do like this Megatron design. And he's referring to the original 07 Transformers movie where he slams his arms together and makes a giant fusion cannon. How cool is that? So it looks like the cannon like unfolds on itself and becomes this giant purple and black thing. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I do like that kind of. The idea of that.
So there's a cannon. Then that looks like that's it folded up, which is neat. There's it deployed. Okay, so we're right. It does unfold and kind of become a hyper cannon thingy. Next up, we have an Optimus Prime, which looks pretty neat. Something I'm noticing here, and I'm wondering if it's coming across for you. Some of the angles kind of remind me of Animated.
I can see it, but I'm not sure why I'm seeing that. Maybe it's just because you just told me that.
it's some of the angles are a little bit more cartoony. So it's kind of like a fusion between animated and G1 design wise. So that's at least interesting. Not to say that I'm going to buy these things, but it is at least interesting to see this stylized design. You know, he's got a flip open chest with a spinny thing. Okay. I do want to touch on truck mode. It looks a little goofy. In this toy looks goofy.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
So there's Bumblebee with some kind of punching thing. There he is with the punching thing, but it's still. There's the vehicle mode. Here's Optimus with an axe. There's him with an axe folded up. There's a truck mode that looks a little bit more normal. There's Grimlock looking a lot more normal. And look at the flame spikes on his back. That's pretty cool.
That's kind of interesting, yeah.
Yes, that is a much better looking Grimlock. Okay. This is one I do want to talk about. It's not often that Shockwave gets to be like a mainline guy. Shockwave tends to be more of a niche character, despite him having a lot of cool characters in the past. But the fact that Shockwave is such a prominent feature in this new show is definitely interesting. And Shockwave looks cool. He turns into this little there's little crises going on at work. That's fun. So the thing that he turns into is this little spider tank looking thing, which we've never seen Shockwave turn into before. So it's interesting. I'm not going to buy it, but the fact that Shockwave is here and the fact that he turns into something that's not traditional is cool, and I think it deserves a mention.
Kind of reminds me of the spider tank thing from Fall of Cybertron.
Yes, it kind of does. Dr. Prime says Shockwave might be the only figure I pick up in this line, and I could see why. He definitely is the most interesting to me.
Yes.
Not to the point where I would buy him, but he definitely is interesting. There's that Megatron. I think the fact that they kind of half transform and do that gimmick thing is interesting. This is definitely a kid-oriented line, and it definitely shows in the gimmickry and how simple their transformations are going to be. These are actual physical images. Look at that cluster missile type thing. That's pretty neat. So anyway, we had the concept images. These are the official images. So moving on. Okay, we'll just touch on Cyberverse. Interesting. Not my cup of tea. Not supposed to be my cup of tea. Figured we'd talk about it. Anything you have to say, Kyle?
No, you pretty much covered it. I have not much to say about Cyberverse other than I'm an adult. Those are kids' toys.
So the Power of the Primes things that we're going to talk about are the things that we haven't seen yet. Like, namely, Abominus and Optimal Optimus. Those two things are what I'm wanting to look at. So let's take a look at, because he's first up here. Here is Abominus. And I just want to make a little side note. It kind of concerns me on a level of it's like why are they not showing this more? It's almost like they're not showing the combined modes of these guys very often. You know, we're not getting, it was like in Combiner Wars, you know, we were seeing their combined modes a whole lot, and it's kind of like Power of the Primes is not really paying attention to that. They're kind of ignoring that they have combined modes at all, except for this event here, where obviously they've got Abominus and Predaking combined to show us what it'll look like. But in terms of official imagery and things, it's kind of scarce to find combined images of these guys.
Yeah, as a counter, it could be just because that it's because marketing, their whole focus is on the Prime Masters gimmick rather than a combiner gimmick.
Yeah.
But you would think for a combiner toy, you would still see a combined mode along with, the Prime Masters gimmick.
Right. And it can the first wave concerned me because they released Grimlock and Starscream, and nobody really knew what the combined modes were going to look like. There were images out there, but they definitely weren't widely spread. So it's not like they said, here's what the combined mode's going to look like. Surprise. And so what happened with those two is for the most part, with the exception of some people, for the most part, people are kind of upset with how the combined mode of the Dinobots turned out and how the Starscream combined mode turned out. Like I said, with the exception of a few outliers who think that they look okay, the majority of the response is, "Ooh, this doesn't look so hot." So it kind of feels shifty to me that they're like, "Oh, here's these figures and they combine, by the way," and then you get them in hand and you're like, "Ooh, this doesn't look very good."
Yeah, no, I am absolutely happy I didn't pick up the Starscream. I'd been saying I wasn't going to do it, and then I saw it actually like in store early on, and before like a lot of the combiner images come out, I hadn't really looked it up too much. I am so happy I held off on it because after like I put it down, went home, looked up some images of it, and that's when they were starting to come out. It's like, hey, look, this combiner mode is awful. It's like, oh, I just dodged a huge bullet. Thank you. Better judgment.
So I hope that they're not doing it intentionally, and I hope it is what you said of being just their marketing is geared more towards the Prime Master gimmick. Regardless, it's kind of crap that we have to dig for combined mode images like this. But here's Abominus finally combined, and I gotta say that Silverbolt torso, that general idea of how that torso works, continues to just dominate.
It's easily been their most used mold.
And it's just because the proportions work so well.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem for me with Starscream in his combined mode is that the proportions are just kind of garbage. But there's something about the way the Silverbolt body type works. It has always looked great as a torso. So I think it's worth noting that Hunger is a very large stretch from the original source material, but he is a Silverbolt mold sharer, if for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So you can see him here.
I do kind of like the hand foot gun. Well, maybe they're not hand foot now. Now they're just hands, I think. But I do like how the fact where it looks like you can backhand someone and it will do a lot more damage.
It'll really hurt.
Yes.
I'm on the fence, and we'll dig in more about why I'm on the fence, but I'm on the fence about this guy because I like the way he looks in combined mode. But as we break him down into his individual figures, I start to get a little concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a close up on the face. I think the face looks nice. It definitely looks season 3 G1, kind of that retro futuristic look. So there's that.
This is kind of funny. I actually kind of like the pink on him just by the sheer nature that it's obnoxious.
Yeah, and that was season 3. Like all the colors were just my eyes.
I mean, this hurts to look at him. It's painful, and I kind of
the beauty of him, and that's why he'll stand out on a shelf.
Exactly that. What was that? The new display case you got, the shelf.
The Detolf.
Yeah, the Detolf shelf. That will look great in that.
I'll need a second Detolf. This Dr. Prime says Abominus is very beautiful, and I do have to agree. And the thing about the pink and the blue, they're offset by very neutral colors. You've got that off-white and the gray, and so just color-wise, I think Abominus looks really nice. There's one of his arms. And what I'm noticing, and it's because of the Combiner Wars pattern, and we'll talk about this a little bit more when we get to the individual guys. Here's his legs, which look very sturdy, except for those little teeny tiny feet, which we've already complained about, so I'm not going to...
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh, they're hot pink, too. Oh, man. This guy's so obnoxious.
His little feetsies. Not a lot of backpack kibble, which, once again, is a testament to how great that Silverbolt mold is. Mold. I always blur... Mode and mold always blur together when I try to talk about anything Transformers. So yeah, not a lot of backpack kibble, which looks great. Okay. Because of the pattern, the play pattern that was established during Combiner Wars, the very generic type of transformation, now I understand why they were like, no, we're not going to do beasts. Because frankly, it doesn't look super great.
Is that a Legends or is that a Deluxe?
That's a Deluxe.
It looks like a skimpy deluxe. It might be the camera angle, it might be the distance, but that looks like a really skimpy deluxe.
And I think it's just because the way these toys are manufactured right now, Beast Formers are kind of difficult because as you notice, the legs are just kind of tacked onto the side of the robot legs. The beast legs are. At least the front, the arms make up beast legs and they transform. It's just kind of like, what can you do? How can you hide these beast parts with this simple transformation setup that we've had? It worked a lot better with cars and trucks and even airplanes.
Yeah.
Because what do you do? Like wings can fold away and wheels don't stick out very far. So you're not having these massive protrusions. And so I think the Combiner Wars play pattern worked better with vehicles rather than beast formers, and that's why we're seeing a little bit of a clunkier try here with the Terracons. So we'll move forward. There he is in well, no, that's Center Twin. Sorry, but there's a vehicle mode, and as you can see, it's just a solid brick of a robot folded up with beast parts tacked onto it, and it's not the fault of the character. It's just the way toys are being made right now. I think is the big deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll move forward. There's Blot, which is very chunky and a very folded up guy.
That guy just doesn't even look good.
But he's always been kind of awkward. Like I had the Legends Abominus from Prime Beast Hunters, and Blot was also kind of difficult. Even at a Legend scale, that beast is kind of hard to pull off.
Yeah, I understand that. It just he kind of looks just like a brick with arms and legs.
Yeah. And that's the thing is these guys are not super great on their own, but when they combine, you're just like, ooh boy. And that's so long as the prices aren't insane, I think that's worth the price of admission right there. Now, if we're talking 15 and 30, Deluxe is at 15, which respectively they have been at a long time. And the Voyager's only maybe about a $5 increase. So if you're looking at that, now we'll have to talk prices, but for the price of admission, if it's fair, I think Abominus is worth it for that combined mode. And to be honest, I leave my Combiner Wars figures in combined mode anyway. Rarely do I break them apart, but I will say most of the ones I have left, when I do break them apart into their individual figures, I'm satisfied with them on their own. I'm not seeing that here.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, if we have to buy these things individually, it will be really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just by the sheer nature of, it's so bad.
Yeah. There's Ripper Snapper, which does look better. I think he's the best looking of all the limbs. He's this shark thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's good. And he's in wave 2. So certain people will start seeing him very soon, along with Hunger.
Sweet. I definitely like to see hit them in person before I, make that final assessment on whether it's like can't talk right now. Abominus is actually worth getting for me.
Yeah, and I like Abominus because he's Computron's rival. Anyway, so this is Optimal Optimus / Optimus Primal, the Evolutions fan vote character. And man, does he look like the original.
Yes. Slightly
improved, I think, joint-wise, posability-wise. Obviously, it's 2018. And that toy came out in the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. So
it had to be at least.
So this definitely looks good. You can see the Matrix in his little cockpit there. Perfect placement. I couldn't agree more with where they put that gimmick piece. Something
look, got a Matrix in there.
I want you to remember where this is on the on this robot mode, and I'll draw your attention to something here in a minute.
Okay.
He's holding somebody. I don't know. There's the Matrix again. There's his feet. Looks like he's got ankle tilts.
That's nice.
He does have the guns, which are neat. I think they pop. I don't know. I think they fold up. I'm noticing stickers still. You think they would have learned to maybe not do stickers anymore, but I still am noticing stickers, unfortunately. There's some foil ones right there. Some more images of Primal. There's the back. And I will say, there have been better integrations already. And I know that Orion Pax kind of folds up on the back of Optimus. Hot Rod integrates a little bit better into the Rodimus Prime, but this is very blatantly just that Optimus Primal folded up on the back of this robot here.
It would almost be better just for him to not be even on it. Like, pop that off.
Yeah, and I get the evolution gimmick. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that this isn't hidden very well. I mean, it's certainly trying, but it's a little bit of a stretch for me.
You know, that just seems like they just kind of folded up and put it on his back. It doesn't even look like the backpack he has.
Yeah. So definitely some points lost there, in my opinion. By the way, this looks like right here. This looks like a Terrorcon.
That does.
And I think he looks fairly nice. I'm not sure what they're zooming in on here, other than their wings.
Well, what I'm noticing also is that there is a lack of wheels, and I know he transformed into some sort of vehicle, land-based vehicle.
Yeah, there are wings, which means something.
It means what they might be doing is there may not be a ground-based vehicle mode, but there might be a jet.
Yeah, that kind of hidden. Here's the jet mode.
Yeah,
because I don't think they'd be on there if they're. And these two, even these big wings here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's monkey mode, and you'll notice that something has happened here. That whole front piece is now folded around to the back. That whole cockpit and everything has moved, right?
Yes.
Something to note. Monkey mode looks about as good as you think it would. I mean, it's not a very far stretch from robot to this monkey. So
I will say the monkey mode on this one looks better than the original.
Yes, I will agree there. Something and we talked about the wings. I would have much rather seen, and I don't know if they're hiding it or if it's not a feature, but whatever. I think that this really desperately needed the jet mode, and the vehicle, the ground vehicle mode. And I understand if they can't do the wheels, but I think this definitely at least should have a fan mode with the jet configuration, because it's got the wings on it. The fact that it's not shown here kind of makes me hesitate to say that, because you think that it would be super easy for them to say, hey, look, third mode, he does the jet, hey! But so anyway, it's definitely interesting. So there's that. Now we'll move on to the solo figure. Well, if I can skip through this, there's just up close pictures of him and the hands. Congrats. Okay, here's the little Solo Prime, which looks good. And we know this Optimus transforms into the monkey riding the surfboard. And you'll notice on his back, there's a giant wall of plastic. Down here between his legs is the cockpit. And I don't know if there's a good picture that shows it. Yep, there it is. So you can see his backpack is made up of this whole front piece here, which means that Optimus, the little Optimus Primal, tabs into the back, and his whole backpack like envelopes over the front of the giant monkey mode to make Primal.
I did not know that's how that worked. I had not seen the Optimus Primal before.
So there's that. And that does transform into the surfboard, so he can be the monkey riding the surfboard. Why they're not showing that here as well, I don't know. But I remember in concept they were saying that Optimus Primal, Optimus Primal, he turns into the monkey riding the surfboard, and then the Optimal Optimus definitely has the gorilla mode. Hopefully he has the jet mode as well. Who knows at this point? But it's something to note that the gray part of the cockpit is part of the Optimus Primal himself. So something cool. Here's some more pictures. Head sculpt looks phenomenal.
Yes.
There's Hunger in his little dragon mode. Weak. Very weak. Doesn't convince me very much. I understand he's got a lot going on, and that's a complicated shape to take on. The front legs kind of make me wince. The big fat back legs make me wince again.
Yes.
The heads aren't too bad, but you can definitely tell that they're supposed to be legs. It just feels like every mode is making a sacrifice and nobody is being benefited from it. But
if anything, if I were to get this figure, he would never be in that mode.
but he does result in a good combined form. So there's that. At least it's not all bad.
Yeah, so he would be exclusively in robot and combined form.
Now, the big beefy back legs, something to note, the big beefy back legs are a result of the combiner feet being attached on there. So if you take those off, I'm sure it would look a little bit better. But the front legs being so skimpy doesn't really help.
If you were to take those off, it almost kind of reminds me of Skylynx's legs.
A little bit. Yeah, you're right.
It's probably the same size.
Head sculpt looks pretty good. That's not scattershot, is it?
I don't know. I don't have scattershot.
Mm.
If it is, I can hear you getting triggered.
Moving on. There's Alita 1, who does look a lot better than Starscream. And now I can understand why Starscream looks so awkward. It's because this mode... There I did it again. This mold, see? This mold is meant to be a female. And it makes much more sense proportionally for a female. And Starscream trying to fill this weird, trying to put Starscream's masculine proportions into this mold that was so obviously meant to be a female, failed miserably. And now we know why, because this was meant to be female. I think the jet mode looks good.
That is Alita 1.
Is it?
I know. I didn't hear the name you said.
Oh, yeah. It is Alita 1.
Oh, my God. I didn't even know they were making that.
Mm-hmm. She looks pretty good. Jet mode looks pretty great. I like the colors. I think it looks pretty cool on Cybertronian. These are a lot of stickers right here. Ugh, I don't like that. The stickers fall off. But yeah, she looks great. I mean, I can't argue with it. She looks great. I don't need another torso, but she looks great.
Yeah. It's one I will allow it to exist, but I don't really need it.
Now we get a couple of her limbs. I think this is Moonracer. I'm not exactly, don't quote me on it. I think it is Moonracer. Which looks very neat. A very awesome Cybertronian car. And I'm really glad that we're getting this female combiner with actual G1 female characters, because they touted Victorion as, oh, it's a female combiner, and we're just going to make up a bunch of characters that don't really come from anywhere. And also, we're going to adapt, on the other hand, from what they did with Starscream, we're going to adapt male, very obviously male proportion robots into feminine looking. But these are feminine looking robots from the ground up. So
yes,
I appreciate it. And it's nice to have the G1 female actual characters that actually existed given some love, because I know people like them. I have no attachment to them just because I don't, but I know people have been looking for these characters, and there's a reason that RCs get purchased and Chromias and Alita 1s, all those get bought because people like these characters. And the fact that we're getting these more obscure female G1 characters is definitely something to talk about.
Well, another nice touch to add to that is that these characters, they have some sort of media base. People know who they are. The fact that Victorion was just so random, it's like you can't name them without a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
These ones are more recognizable, I think.
I think this is a direct... Yeah, they're more recognizable, definitely. I think this is a direct remold. Yeah, it is. It's a direct remold. But it definitely... It's hard to tell. Like you saw me flipping back and forth. It's hard to tell. So that's something. Mm-hmm. There she is. I think that Moonracer, yeah. Very nice. I like the colors. I like the colors a lot. She looks nice. And then I don't know who this is. And that's another Autobot. That might be Flamestar. I don't know.
Oh, look, there's the box right there, Moonracer.
Yeah, there's Moonracer's box. Yeah, I don't know who this is supposed to be. I'm sure we'll figure it out. But her colors,
but I actually kind of like this one better than Moonracer.
yeah, she's got a very she's got a female hot rod vibe going on. So yeah, I like that one too. Do they have the same head sculpt? No, thank goodness. There she is. Looks nice. Yeah, they look pretty good. I'm excited. I hope they do the all female combiner that way. And then we've got the little Prime Masters, which that looks like Bomb Burst, and I don't know who he is. I at one time I knew, but I don't anymore.
Yeah.
There's Bludgeon. Cool.
The idea that they made him a bludgeoning kind of weapon is kind of ironic. Playing on his name. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I don't know who this guy is with the eye, but I don't remember Bludgeon being one of the 13 primes, so maybe they're just taking liberties at this point. I don't know.
They might be. Admittedly, we're not big into the whole Prime Masters gimmick, if that wasn't apparent.
And these right here, like these little Prime Masters, are very obviously a reference to G1 Pretenders. And if this is how they got to do it, then I'm fine with it. And it makes sense because you've got this little small scale Pretender type thing. And if that, like I said, if that's how they got to do it, okay. If there's a market and people want Pretenders and this is how it's integrated, fine, whatever. I'm not interested in Pretenders. I thought Pretenders were dumb. Transformers that don't transform fundamentally don't make sense to me.
Admittedly, that whole gimmick right there just doesn't really strike me as a good idea because it's the same thing for me as the Headmasters thing, where you're going to take that off, you're going to put it down somewhere, and you're going to lose it because it's so small and it'll just disappear.
So anyway, I agree. Here we've got Legends, Beachcomber, which looks really nice, and then the Storm Clash Combiner, which I'm actually tempted to pick up if I see the blue car and the white helicopter are both individual robots, but then they combine into a super robot, and it's so Armada, and I'm just like, that reminds me of my childhood. We'll see if I find it in person.
They're Legends class though, so they're going to combine to make a deluxe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I think it's cool. It's definitely interesting. Then we get a Tailgate and the Dinobot Slash, who's the new addition. Down here, you can see some of the Predaking guys, the Predacons, and the feet fold up, the big combiner feet fold up onto the back of them so they can have the guns. Interesting. And there's a little bit better of a look at these Legends guys. And you can see the combined mode back there.
Oh, yeah, that's what that is.
He looks pretty neat.
Yeah. There might be a close-up of him.
And it's Decepticons, too, which I find pretty cool. There he is. From what I can tell, he's superposable. And that's pretty great.
That's a plus.
Here's some more things we've seen. And then some of the Predaking guys that we haven't seen yet. There's Ripper Snapper. And then we've come full circle. So now that we've talked about Predaking, actually, let's start down here with the individual guys. Because I think it's important to judge the individual guys first, because the combined mode looks pretty good, obviously. But the individual guys kind of, in my opinion, for how big they are, the Devastator crew looked really good and really cartoon accurate. And that's just because I know what the Constructicons are supposed to look like. So I really can't judge because I don't exactly remember how the Predacons looked. But from what I can tell, these are kind of clunky looking for a modern, upwards of $100 price point set.
Yes.
And I think, like, you made the observation that there's a lot of things borrowed from Devastator that you think?
I think I'll have to look at the actual in the Predaking mode, but it looked like a lot of the joints are exactly the same thing, which means they may have reused the same joints, which makes me think that they may have also heavily retooled these figures.
Perhaps.
At least the robot modes of them.
They look like big giant, even more so than the deluxes, which this surprises me because these are much bigger and much more expensive. They look more than the deluxes. They look like bricks with just limbs attached randomly.
Yeah. I mean, this is $100 5 or 6 bricks you're buying.
Now that robot mode looks decent, and if sacrifices have to be made in the animal mode for the robot mode to be great, something that you need to notice here is this is a giant folded up part of the combiner that is a massive backpack for all of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it here between his legs. Robot mode looks pretty good, I'll admit.
Yeah, I'll admit these robot modes, I am kind of impressed that they have the elbow joint because Devastator's robot modes don't have that. Only a few of them do.
Once again, we're seeing why beasts are so difficult to make Transformers out of. It's much easier to do vehicles, I think, and these are a little clunky in their beast modes. But who knows? Maybe this is a love letter, just like the G1, just like the Combiner Wars Constructicons were a love letter to the G1 Devastator. Maybe this is exactly what, Dave, who grew up with the original Predaking, is looking for now.
Maybe.
So I don't know. This robot mode kind of jumps out at me as being a little, but it's worth noting that I don't know who these guys are. So I'm just judging them based off of how do they look as figures. I don't know this character.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you any of their names.
And maybe that's why I'm not resonating with them so much. But there he is. There's another guy. Looks like a bison. That's pretty neat.
But another brick, though.
Is that Kill Bison? Is that a name? Did I just get a name? Ding, ding, ding.
I don't know.
It looks good.
We'll say points for effort.
I like this guy's all red color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's neat. He kind of gets washed out, but as we know, red is a very difficult color to photograph. So maybe, just maybe, he's going to be a little bit better in person.
Yes.
It looks like they have Prime Masters. There's his panther, like a panther. That's pretty cool.
Prime Masters.
And then the bird guy. Oh, wow. I just knocked my microphone.
You just got so excited over the bird guy.
The bird guy!
the bird guy! I need him!
It's worth noting. Now it's bothering me that I don't know these guys' names, so I'm grabbing my Transformers field guide, and I'm gonna look for them. And Battle Trap, by the way, Battle Trap is that Decepticon combiner. I just flipped to a page, and there he was. So they are updating. Okay, there's the Terracons. Please hold as I seek out. I seek to know more.
We're doing our research, people. Live on stream.
I should have done this beforehand.
Yeah. Well, that's the humor of this right now. We're doing the research during the stream.
I've always thought, like, oh yeah, Predaking. Like, I've never been like, I wonder what the individual guys' names are.
I've never even once thought, like, those other guys have names.
And to be fair, sometimes Computron is my favorite, and sometimes I forget the names of some of the Computron guys. So, I mean,
Yeah, pretty much if it's not the combiners that I'm like most interested in, I pretty much have horrible recollection of their names.
Okay. Here we go.
So pretty much I only remember Menasor.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, this is Dive Bomb. And compared to the G1, yeah, okay, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing how this is supposed to be an update to
So he's accurate?
Yeah, he's definitely in that same vein. You know the feeling that you got out of the Constructicons, like ooh G1. This
Mhm.
is yeah.
What
Bird
about
might
the other ones?
be fat and clunky. The G1 version is as well. I think they probably could have fixed some of that with these newer figures.
I mean, look at that. He's got no neck right there.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
There's the combined mode. Let me.
Ooh.
I'll follow up and look. The Predacons, we got Dive Bomb as the bird. The Rhino is Headstrong. The all red guy is Rampage.
Okay.
The lion is Razor Claw. Tantrum is the bull.
Aw. I guess no points there.
Dang it.
What did you
Nope.
say it was? Kill Bison?
I thought it was Kill Bison.
A good guess.
Anyway, dude. We tried. And here Predaking is in his full glory. I think he's mistransformed just a lot. Because
Just a lot.
his elbows look like they're in the very, very wrong configuration.
Yes.
And it's also worth noting the picture I have here has the arms swapped. Like Rampage is supposed in the picture I have in this Transformers field guide is Rampage is supposed to be the right arm, and whoever that other guy is, the bird.
No, I think it's the Bison.
No, that's the bird. You can see the head on the shoulder. Dive Bomb is supposed to be the other arm. Maybe this is wrong.
Oh.
I don't know, but hopefully you'll be able to swap them around.
Well, that means the wings pop off the bird and go on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
So my question is this going to be kind of Scramble City style? Devastator definitely wasn't. So is there going to be? Can you swap the arms around or no?
I am. It almost looks like it's going to be parts Scramble City, where you're going to be popping parts off here and there to attach them.
I can't really tell.
This doesn't. You know, from a distance, this looked like Devastator's engineering, but it doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
At least in the shoulders.
It's definitely interesting, and it's all black plastic, so I can't really tell in here what the deal is.
Mm-hmm.
Only time will tell, I think, at this point. But regardless, from what I'm seeing, this Predaking is in the same vein as the Devastator from Combiner Wars. It is a faithful reimagining of the G1 toy. However, objectively, I have to say this is a little bit more of a stretch just because the beast modes aren't very convincing. I feel like the Constructicons definitely looked better in their alternate forms than these beast forms do.
Right. Go back to that shoulder one again. All right, just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to get something real quick. Yeah, no, I wanted to look at some of the joints. I don't have Devastator in combined mode right now, and I know it'll take me way too long to actually figure it out, but I just wanted to compare them actually. And they actually, yeah, this is entirely new. It's not Devastator. That's a shame.
So it does look different.
Yeah, some of the shoulder pieces look similar, but it doesn't seem to match up. So I have to imagine that this is something entirely new and not a retool of Devastator after all.
Well, hopefully the arms are swappable. If that's wrong, and if not, hopefully that's the right configuration. Wings have stickers. I can see that being a massive problem.
Oh my gosh, no.
The feet, having the massive feet looks so much better than the little skinny feet that everybody else is having. So I will commend, at least on that looks better, having those big chunky feet. And I think that's part of Abominus, or not Abominus, Predaking's draw, is he's got those huge feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some more details. Anyway, breeze through this bad boy.
Wait, are those the back of his legs?
That's the bat. That looks like the lion guy's. What's his name?
We'll just call him Lion Man.
Razor Claw. That looks like Razor Claw's robot mode legs.
Yes. Yeah, because look at that. Those are his feet that are just kind of just sitting there at the top.
They're just like, hey.
Dangling out there. I just want to feel a cool breeze against my toes.
I want to see how this guy transforms. I want to see
I'd
it.
be interested to see that. Yeah. Those, yeah, it's
And he's
different on the legs
masked.
too. The connection is different there. It almost looks like it's meant to be more posable than Devastator is.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. I hope that they learned. I still have to get my hands on a Devastator. I've been looking for one. So, anyway, yeah, he looks good. Sticker on the forehead there. Guys, can we just stop with the stickers, please?
I hope so. The stickers is one of my biggest gripes because, one, I'm going to suck putting it on. Two, the sticker's going to come off over time.
Yeah.
Especially with use.
Stickers are a bad idea, and they should know by now. Quit it.
That they're sitting there over there in their sticker layer going, what more stickers can we put on these toys?
Is this vinyl? Are they releasing vinyl?
Huh. That would be something.
No. Okay, I've got to buy this. Original television series score. Okay. I didn't even notice. They're coming out with a record that's the original. And I just got a record player for Christmas. Oh, baby. I'm getting this. That's cool. I like that. Oh, gosh. They've got a ton of songs on here. Jeez, man.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's all of them.
I like that.
Oh wow, I didn't even know the songs were named.
That's pretty great.
Okay.
I've got to own this.
I wish I had a working record player.
They're pretty cheap. You can find them. Okay, movie studio series. I am simultaneously excited and upset at some of these.
I like the boxes.
The boxes are cool, and they're numbered just in case you forget.
In case I forgot how many of them there are out there.
Exactly.
I need to know how many toys I don't want.
So, there have been several reports, and I can touch on what I've heard so far. Because some people have these in hand already. Somehow.
What?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
You must tell me.
There's up close pictures of the packaging. Packaging's pretty neat. I'm going to admit it definitely is different than what some of the stuff we're getting. I like it. I like it a lot. I like that the deluxes are not in the bubbles, that they're in the actual boxes, which didn't that start with the last night?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let's look at the actual guys. And they talked about the movie masterpiece ones too. This is, and I don't know, is this leader class?
Yeah.
Grimlock. I didn't like the movie Grimlock design, but this is as accurate as it gets.
Very true.
I mean,
that Mason
wow.
Thing that he wanted.
Even the head is perfect. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of detail.
Does his hand open and close? Because that looks like it does.
I don't know.
No, never mind. It looks. I saw it was connected to his thumb.
There's the T-Rex.
Wait, so now that he's got the mace hand thing, does he have like his actual weapon that he had?
I don't know.
Didn't see that anywhere in there.
Regardless, this looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to buy it because I don't like this design of Grimlock, but I can at least acknowledge that it is very accurate.
Yes.
Ta-da.
This is actually scary accurate for Hasbro.
Yep. There's a lot of junk going on underneath his neck here. The tail's a little goofy, but we'll forgive it. Okay. So there's Grimlock. I feel like he's not I think he's bigger than a leader.
You think?
Well, we shall see. One of the ones I'm excited about, Megatron. And as the years have gone by, this is my favorite version. This is my favorite Megatron. Well, dang it. Now we've got the Last Night one, and I think the Last Night Megatron is pretty neat. So I'll just call this a close second to my favorite Megatron design is this tank mode. And holy crap!
Well, we can say this one was your favorite for the longest time.
What now?
We can say this one was your favorite for the longest time.
It was, and the Last Night has overthrown him because I think that Last Night Megatron design is phenomenal.
I mean, this movie came out almost 10 years before the Last Night, really. For a decade, this one was.
And can we just talk about the proportions and how accurate they are? It took them this long. We had the Voyager that didn't quite cut it. We had the leader that was close but no cigar. Finally, in a Voyager size class, we have the perfect Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, and I am very, very pleased. Now, you'll notice this one is kind of a non-metallic looking gray. He looks good. The feet, by the way, the feet splay open to mimic the way he walked and the way his feet were in the movie. They haven't done that here. I'm not sure why, but you can see the seam right down the middle where the feet splay open to give him the two-toe looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you notice his tank mode is painted this shiny silver and the kind of the gold as well. Holy cow! I think the toy is gonna be this color because as you can see,
the one they have in robot mode is probably a prototype.
I think you're right because his head down here and everything is silver as well. It'd be different if the tank mode was like this silver color and then the robot mode was not. If he's this shiny silver all over, I'm gonna have to buy this one because this looks great.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I might be getting that one too.
It just
I don't want to, but I may.
For a long time, I've regretted. I was upset that I'd gotten rid of the leader class, but now that I see this one, I'm glad I did because this is objectively better. And there's just so much detail. And anyway, so apparently we're moving on now.
Yeah.
Now there's a couple here that I don't like, and there's a couple here that I do like. Brawl looks pretty good. He's a Voyager. He's a little skimpy.
Yeah, I was going to think he's a skimpy Brawl, really.
I'm not exactly sure. I'd like to see a video of him transforming, and I'd like to see final pictures because I feel like this is not final. He looks very prototypey.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I'd like to see, and there's a lot of kibble on him too, and that's something I don't like on movie figures, especially the leader class Brawl did a great job of hiding the vehicle bits and transforming. Actually, this one looks like it cheats a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you there.
I hope that they fix it because Brawl is a good design and done correctly, he could be great. And I hope that whatever they do, I hope that they fix this, whatever's the deal here.
Thankfully, they have time, unless he's one of the ones that are starting to pop up with.
No. Brawl is. I think Brawl is wave 2.
Good. He needs a few waves.
So there's a lot of tank bits folded up on him, unfortunately. Here we can see Lockdown and Jazz. Lockdown comes with a new design that doesn't fix the inherent problem that Lockdown was too short and stumpy. This one is short and stumpy still.
Yes.
He comes with a hook hand, but it's just kind of a weapon that plugs into his normal hand, which, I mean, how else would they do it? But you get what I mean. You know, it's kind of like, why would you guys do that? I get the hook hand is important, but Jazz looks good.
I'm glad they included a hook hand, but yeah, Jazz looks good.
Jazz looks good. He reminds me of my childhood when the 2007 movie was out. I had the Final Battle Jazz and the original Jazz, and the original Jazz toy came with that telescoping rifle thing, and the Final Battle Jazz came with this movie accurate weapon here, and so this seems to be the best of both worlds, and I'm really digging it. Also, he's a shiny silver, and I am a sucker for shiny silver because it makes figures look darn good. And he also looks like he's learned a lot from the Human Alliance Jazz, and I like that. So there's Lockdown.
It doesn't look too bad, actually.
Lockdown's face
Lockdown disappoints
good.
me. Yeah. It would look much better if he had sort of like the face mask gimmick, though, that he had.
Car mode looks good, but so did the original Deluxe. It's all about the robot mode on that guy. There's Jazz again. It's funny because his visor makes it look like he has no face, but I know he has a face. It looks like there's just a visor there, and that's all.
I wonder if they just tipped the head down too much on him.
Probably. This Jazz and the original Jazz, frankly, was a great figure. And the fact that it looks like the bumper doesn't come off and make that stupid shield gimmick that the original one did. The only complaint that I have with him is that his little feet are super stumpy, and it's kind of hard to see in this picture, but he doesn't have very pronounced feet. If that's a clearance issue with vehicle mode, I understand. But when we're talking about a premiere edition of Jazz, this is definitely, and I think it's worth saying that a guy who died in the first movie is popular enough to be featured in this line. So
it would be really awesome if this toy split in half for movie authenticity.
Yeah, with a rip in half gimmick. The car mode looks good. Which, wait a minute. Okay. Hunter's going to get a little butthurt about the whole last night barricade. We got the license for Pontiac, a company that doesn't exist anymore. We have the licensing for Pontiac now, and we can't do Ford. Really? Is it that
for
hard?
a company that doesn't exist anymore, it's real easy to get a license.
What?
But yeah, I see your point.
You know what I mean? And with Lamborghini, how is Lamborghini more expensive to get licensing for than Ford? Sorry, it's tangent over. Sorry. Here's Starscream, who is a Voyager. He appears to be a very nice combination of the Deluxe and Voyager class Starscreams throughout the years. I think Starscream looks great.
Yeah, I will allow that.
I'm also getting a little bit of the leader vibe from him too.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the leader vibe or the Deluxe vibe, but I loosely remember how they look.
And I like the fact that he's just the regular F-22 without the tattoos. They are going to release a version with the tattoos if that kind of floats your boat. I'm not sure. I'll have to compare them, but the fact that he's just the stock F-22 kind of delights me that they're doing that first. I would probably go with a Cybertronian tattoo version because to me that just screams Starscream of I'm going to be a robot in disguise, but not that much.
Yeah, I mean, I did appreciate the fact that they made him look shockingly different with all the tattoos. It was kind of like pompous of him, like, hey, look, I'm leader now.
Yeah.
Check out my ink.
So either way, I'll have to look. I do like over here, I've noticed there's a Decepticon air symbol, kind of like what's on Skyquake and Dreadwing from Transformers Prime. I do like that. But yeah, stock F-22, thumbs up from me. I'll have to determine which version I want to get. Because now I'm saying this, I do want to get some of these guys. Because the 07 movie was such a game changer. And some of these characters, it's long overdue that they got as toys as good as these.
Yeah.
There's the F-22 Raptor. Looks great. Looks really good.
What I'm really liking is in the background of him, though, right there.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm hoping to get.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's it! Yeah, this terrible-looking Optimus! So, elephant in the room. His legs are too skinny. His chest is too bulky. His windscreens are too far apart. And that backpack is terrible.
No, this guy is wide like Kylo Ren.
Oh my gosh, he is stacked like Ben Swallow. He comes with his Energon swords, but there is not much. And at first I thought, you see these hinges on his chest? I was like, oh, they just mistransformed him. No, the way the arms fold around, this is the way the chest has to be. And then you've got all these things on his flanks that make him look super fat. How in the world? We have had so much better Voyager class Optimuses than this. How in the world did this make it past? Yeah, that looks good.
I mean, they could have re-released the Last Night Voyager one, and that would have been better.
I mean, for real. The chest is all wrong.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is just like one flaw after another, stacks on stacks on stacks of flaws.
And it's because
sorry, Ben Swallow.
I know, right? It's because the chest is going for a very similar thing that the first edition Transformers Prime Optimus went for, but it fails miserably here.
I mean, this is a collaboration between Hasbro and Takara Tomy that just could not work.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, do you see what I'm talking about? Like the windshield, It looks like the windshield wraps around and then the arms tab in, just like on first edition Prime. I don't get it. I don't get how they were like, yeah, that looks good. Especially with all these other guys looking so movie accurate.
Yeah, I mean, this just doesn't. It looks like, it's like, hey, look, you can tell where we're going for.
I mean, guys, this is Optimus Prime. One of the two characters that are the flagship for the entire movie franchise. And this is the best you could come up with?
It's more like Optimus Prime Bummer.
I know. Evasion Mode Prime is in a completely different ballpark than this. I just can't. I don't get it. How they've done so well in the past. How is that? I don't get it. I don't get it. This Optimus looks terrible. It does. And anybody who says no, it doesn't look terrible, get your eyes checked, because we have had significantly better Optimus Prime toys of all sizes in the past. This is an insult to that original design. I'm sorry. You can't argue with me on that. Truck mode is okay. The smokestacks are kind of chopped. Yeah. They've made some coloring errors. The cab is not supposed to be blue.
I'm wondering if it's just a blue plastic and they just didn't paint it.
Maybe. Regardless, there's some coloring errors here. The truck mode is passable. It'd be different if it turned into a super accurate robot, but the robot mode just completely taints this thing. No silver wheels either. That kind of a cheap out. And there's not silver wheels on Jazz or anything either, which I think Jazz had black rims to begin with. But come on.
Yeah, I mean, Jazz is actually still a decent figure all around, though. So, I mean, the wheels isn't that big a deal.
At least there's no stickers on these, right? Wait!
Oh.
Wait! Look!
The sticker's already coming off!
I literally didn't notice that there was a sticker on there, and I had my mouse pointing to this sticker that's now peeling off.
Wow, that didn't take long at all for that sticker to come off.
Look here! The flames are all stickers.
I'm hoping that some kid just reached in and grabbed it and just started playing with it, and that's why that's happening. But at the same time, wow.
The flames stickers? Is this real? Is it not painted on there? Those are stickers. And nobody else has them.
Well, nobody else has any patterns that would require a sticker.
What is going on? Why?
The
Okay.
sticker craze continues.
He even more so just laid down in his own grave, and at this point he's like, yeah, just bury me.
Check that
Look at
Starscream
that. That
again.
is
I'm
definitely
wondering.
a sticker, and so is that.
Oh my gosh, I'm now curious if the Starscream is a sticker because he has all those symbols on him that could very easily be a sticker.
And if this no, that's painted on. Look,
Okay,
that's got to be.
But I mean, now we're actually looking for stickers, though. That's what I mean.
Yeah. That blurry picture of blackout. Let's go back. I'm sorry. How? No, paint.
Okay,
Paint.
No, it's all paint with him. What the hell?
What happened? Were they just like, hey, let's just once put out a really bad movie Optimus toy?
Just this once?
That makes me worried. Now is the Starscream, is that going to be the second Starscream with the tattoos? Are those all going to be stickers? Or are they actually going to paint it on there?
It's going to be a giant sticker overlay. Remember the sticker called hashtag stickers for life.
Oh my gosh. Optimus, you disappoint me on so many levels. Oh my Lord. Now,
oh,
boom, the piece de resistance.
Look at that Scorponok right there by him.
That's the little Scorponok from what toy did that come off of? There was a little Scorponok, little rubber Scorponok.
Blackout.
It was probably, yeah, I think it was Blackout. You're right. The Voyager class one came with it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Does this guy look great? Unfortunately, going to be $50. But he's in that camp where it's like Overlord and Six Shot. I was okay to pay $50 for it. I've got to get this. I've got to get this Blackout. Class? He's a leader class.
Oh, my Bobby.
And the official images look a little bit better than this prototype because these are very obviously prototypes. I mean, look at that. From almost every angle, I mean, I see it.
This looks like it jumps straight off the screen, really.
And exactly. And all I can think of when I look at this toy is that scene where he lands and transforms and just wrecks stuff. 4500 X-ray, they put it on the toy. And it's painted.
Or it's a really, really good sticker.
Is it on the tail rotor too? Does it say 4500 X-ray on the tail? I hope
I haven't seen it there.
Oh, I think it does say it.
Maybe it does.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love it. Those little details. I just love it. Because they're like, you think that's something stupid and passable in the movie. Tail rotor says 4500 X-ray. It says that chopper was shot down. Like, those details. Oh, my gosh. It's just my childhood flooding back to me. And I love it.
Let us know in the live chat what you think about this Blackout, because we're loving it.
I love this Blackout so very much. Here's more pictures of Brawl. I don't get the striping. That doesn't really look like camo. It just looks like stripes.
I don't remember him being striped.
He was like regular military grade camo, or was he?
I don't remember him really having much paint at all. Really, he might have been just kind of like that green, the brighter greenish gray thing that he's got going there. But I don't think there was any stripes on him.
Yeah, let me look.
Granted, you never really see him in a light where you actually can get a good look at him.
That is true. I think it looks like. Let's look at the toys, because the toys are where it's going to be at. All the art has him looking like just solid green, but the toys are kind of like a green and black camo. So even then, this is wrong. This is green and tan. So he should be, from what I'm understanding, looking at the original deluxe, should be kind of green and black camo. But he definitely doesn't look like. Really, they should have just made him all green. I'd have been okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't recall him being camouflaged. I think he was just a green tank, and I'm okay with him being just a green tank. Anyway,
Yeah.
hopefully they fix that because that seems unnecessary to have all that weird camo that's not accurate. And then there's some pictures of the room. Here's some good guys. Ooh. Ratchet,
Ooh.
which appears to be that well, no, not exactly. Appears to be a hybrid of that deluxe from
Dark in the Moon.
And from what was it? They did it in Revenge of the Fallen, I think. It was with that Hunt for the Decepticons deal.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks good. He's got the arm blade. I definitely like that.
Overall, that guy just disappoints. This guy, though.
Yeah, Ratchet. Ratchet's one of those characters. It's like, well, no matter what, his design was a little goofy, but yes, Stinger. Oh, thank goodness we have the Pagani Stinger. I like cars, so this Pagani is dope.
Yes.
And the robot mode definitely could use a little bit of finagling, I think. I think they kind of messed up on some of it, transforming wise. But I see what they're going for, and it's close enough to the Age of Extinction Bumblebee to where I would be perfectly fine standing him next to that Bumblebee.
Hang on, they got those. They got the four Ninja Star looking things on his back.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they did. He's got this car kibble underneath his arm here. Kind of a bummer, but there's Crowbar, which is, I've heard he's the worst. That the dread, like he's got the big long dreadlocks coming out of the back of his head. I've heard that they're insanely hard to get to fold up in vehicle mode. So people in hand have said he looks great in robot mode, but vehicle mode is a stretch and it's a pain in the butt to get him there.
I mean, look at that. In the vehicle mode, his hairs are sticking out the back wheel well.
Yeah, right above the wheels. That's funny. I like that. He looks good. I've never been attached to the idea of the dreads. I think they're kind of silly. Had they had more character. Now we're talking. I believe it's 77 Bumblebee, the Camaro.
Yeah, it's 76, 77, something like that.
Yep, it's the 77 because he was the 67 in Age of Extinction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 77 Camaro done very, very well. I was kind of tempted to get the that 3-pack with the re-release of the 77 and the 67 and then the new one.
Good call not doing that.
Now that I see this, I really want this one. The guy who has this in hand said this is an exact replica. Like this is the same mold as the new Age of Extinction Bumblebee, and that it's just kind of remolded to look like the 77 Camaro. And man, does it look good. And robot mode, wow. He was goofy. He was goofy looking when he was the 77 Camaro. And we all know. Then he turned into the 2009 concept, and everybody was like, ooh, Bumblebee's a cool looking guy now. But he was goofy, and that was part of his charm. And oh, I love the fact that they're revisiting this design and that he's getting this recreation. It just, it just makes me happy. I like it. Because I thought the 77 Camaro, the story of buying a beat up yellow car as your first vehicle resounds with me so well.
A beat up yellow sports car.
Hey, except mine was a Ford and that's a Chevy. That's whatever. Mute point. And with a bunch of ugly black stuff on it too. like my first car was the Ford equivalent of this 77 Bumblebee. So it resounded with me on this level. And I was like, oh, I wish my car transformed. But I love it.
Admittedly, I've never been a Chevy guy, but if I could have like that specific Camaro or the 67 one, I would be okay with it. Yeah, I like the 67 one. That one just screams muscle car to me.
Yeah, I need to reacquire that high octane Bumblebee because I really like that.
That is the only
77.
reason I won't get rid of it is that vehicle mode.
And it's black. I like the black.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, exciting, very exciting. I'm ready for this toy. I want that Bumblebee really bad. And then we've come full circle.
Yep.
So there's a bunch of sirens going on outside. I hope I'm not about to get arrested.
Well, what did you do that was illegal?
I didn't do anything.
I'll tell you what you did, though. You
What did I
bashed on
do?
Cyberverse.
No! So, a lot of cool stuff is coming out here in the next little bit, and I'm excited. Also, they didn't talk about it, but we've got the Bumblebee movie toys as well to look forward to with the
Classic cars.
Yeah, with the classic cars. Hopefully, they did mention there was some news story, and I'll just briefly look at it. Basically, they confirmed that there's a masterpiece Bumblebee going to be released with that the movie toy listings include a masterpiece Bumblebee. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just the G1 masterpiece Bumblebee re-released for this movie because it's a Volkswagen. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Are they gonna make a new one, or are they gonna,
It'll be the next MPM where it transforms into like the G1, but then robot will just be movie.
That would be cool. I want that Bumblebee. So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming out, and ironically, a lot of the good stuff is movie stuff. Considering the trends that we've had over the past few years, movie stuff has kind of been like, but ironically,
movie stuff just brings like sheer pain to my heart just from sheer disappointment because I want it to be well, but it never is. It's never great. But this looks actually pretty great. The things that do.
I agree. And the best part is these are designs from 2007 that are getting re-released almost 10 years later, upgraded, and we're all like, like I love that story of how, because you don't realize how much of an impact that first movie had on you until you look at these toys. It just hits you right in the feels. You're just like, And I'm not a huge fan.
I remember when that was my first toy or whatever.
Exactly. I'm not a huge fan of the Michael Bay movies, but I do stand by my point that the 2007 version is the best. That first movie is the best. And seeing these characters faithfully recreated, it just does everything for me. And I'm super excited. So we shall see some more stuff down the pipeline. I look forward to talking about these things more when they get in hand. I also want to talk about the Bumblebee movie toys. I'm really excited. If there's a bunch of classic cars, you best believe I'm gonna be spending money on Hasbro again, because for the last little bit I have not had a reason to. But if they start doing this kind of stuff again, and they start just going back to what makes a Transformer good, then yeah, absolutely. This gimmick filled Power of the Primes, Titan Masters, all that doesn't hit me. I don't like intrusive gimmicks. I like Transformers that transform and look good. And it looks like that's what we're starting to get back into. And I can only hope that the quality is going to be right there as well, because I've got reports that Titan's Return or the Power of the Prime's Hot Rod, definitely that Hot Rod has some quality control issues. So hopefully their quality matches how good these figures look. I'm excited for the first time in a long time about Hasbro figures, and I like it.
Oh yeah, me too. I am ecstatic that there are going to be movie figures that I'm trying to find the right wording here because I don't want to say like, oh yeah, they're absolutely perfect, but I mean there are actually some diamonds in the rough there, and they have me a little bit excited. I've been thinking about doing like a movieverse project with movie figures, and I don't want to use pure trash.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So things are looking good. ToyFair did its job. It got us hype for the future, and I'm excited. Do
we know when the studio series is supposed to hit? Actually,
it's a great question. I don't know. Like I said, some people have gotten them already. So I'm not certain.
Fingers crossed, Stinger is in wave 1. Because something tells me since there wasn't one from Age of Extinction, that guy is going to be hard to find.
Stinger?
Yeah. It's going to be the ones that didn't have movie figures previously. They're going to be the ones that are going to be harder to find.
Yeah, I agree.
Everyone's going to fill those gaps, and then they're going to be like, okay, now since I got those and these have been on the shelves a little bit, I'll start looking at these other ones. But it's going to be those first ones that haven't had a mold previous.
Shelf warm.
Mm-hmm. Prime is going to shelf warm. Ratchet. There's going to be an overabundance of ratchets.
You think?
Oh, I think so. Still looking forward to the Plymouth from Bumblebee movie, though. I want to see that done right.
I agree. So, I'm not finding a release date. Let me search just to be sure here.
Well, if they're already hitting now, I'm wondering if you can just like go on. Go on eBay real quick.
I know what you're thinking.
Spell them wrong.
Spell them wrong. That's the key.
Yeah, fun fact, people. I bought nothing from Transformers the last night in stores, except for a few things, and I was getting them all early by spelling them wrong on eBay.
Yay.
People who can't spell don't know what they have really, and they're selling it for not really what it's being retail valued as.
Now you've given away your secret.
Oh, it's not really much of a secret. It's just I kind of stumbled on it by accident. Transformers Studio Series. I don't even know what to look for. Oh my gosh, you can get them on eBay for a lot of money, but you can get them. A few of them, actually. Just people selling. Wave 1. Oh. Wave 1 does have Stinger. Wave 1, Bumblebee, Stinger, Crowbar, Ratchet, mint and sealed box. $130, buy it now.
For all of them, that's not bad.
Or you can get all of them for $199.
Yeah, I'm not finding the release dates.
And you could flip them right now. That would be insane.
Yeah, but I'm not a scumbag.
Yeah, I'm not a scumbag either. But the idea, well, yeah, I don't want to do that because then that means I have to flip them all. Otherwise, I'm paying overpriced deluxes.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know when they're coming out, but I will look for them because I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, they're all coming out, and you can get that Dublin, Ohio.
Dublin.
That
Chicago. Blackout will be
This
mine.
is in the States.
By the way, this is the field guide that I'm using. I've had this forever. So
I have that too somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I have it.
I'm sure the prices are all outdated.
Here. Let me screen share this real quick just because.
Hit it.
This is interesting. You can see all these wonderful dealings here. You've only really got 3 listings. $199.
Wow.
For 4 deluxes.
That's too much.
Yeah, $130 plus $11 shipping for 4 deluxes. Or just straight up pay $35 plus $12 for a deluxe.
That's not a bad price to get Bumblebee early. Especially if you muted yourself.
Yeah, I know. Someone popped in.
Oh.
I mean, it's overpriced. If you want to flip them, then that's probably a good deal for you there, but really and truly it's if you plan on keeping any of them, that's not a good deal.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, I definitely am excited about some of these things, and it kind of bums me out because I was enjoying that excuse to not buy Transformers because they were bad, but now I don't have that.
Yeah, I am both excited and livid
I was like,
Transform
hey,
me.
I'll just spend some money on Planet X here and there, and I won't have to buy mainline stuff. Now it's like I want Planet X, and now I also want mainline.
Not. Yeah.
It's a fun
Well,
time.
you know, Planet X doesn't. Oh shoot, there's still the Seekers and stuff.
Yeah, I still got to get the Seekers.
And
And
what's sucky for me is that I think eventually I'm going to cave and get the Ultra Magnus.
the Triceratops. No, I don't want the Ultra Magnus.
I think I might though.
It's weird.
You think it's weird? I don't think it's that weird.
Anyway, we can talk about Planet X on some other time. But the
Right
truth
in
of the
this
matter is,
stream.
hey, I did a Facebook Live video today. I like doing this stuff way more than I like doing reviews. I'm sorry, it's true. And this stuff gets more views, surprisingly. So anyway, I'm excited. This is a lot of cool stuff on the horizon, and I am hopeful for the first time in several months with Hasbro stuff. So that's my final thoughts. What do you got?
Hasbro doesn't disappoint all the time anymore. This is life-changing. I don't know how to respond. I'm gonna go freaking ballistic. Oh, dang it!
That was great. I like that. TF Hot Rod says the Studio Series come out in April, and the deluxes he thinks are still available at Hasbro Toy Shop. So yeah, I'll take a peek at that.
Going on right now.
Anyway, thank you very much, all of you, for watching. And if you're watching it on the playback, thank you for joining us after the fact. I do these live streams pretty often. If you would like to join them while we're live, you may ask questions or throw in observations. I highly, highly, highly encourage that. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter at lockbotCRM, lowercase l, capital C, R, and M. And that's what I got. Sign out, Kyle.
I am AHM1K. Watch my stuff.
Thank you.
I do what he doesn't do on this channel. Well, I mean, you and I do like the polar opposites of what the other does.
That really is pretty accurate. All right. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you talking through this stuff with me or listening to me talk.
Either or, it's all good.
So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.